Hello friends, it has been several weeks since I put out a video, but I am determined to get this one out. I filmed this several weeks ago, so this is just a, dinner that I put together, just on this day. So this is just some motivation for if you don't have a meal plan and you just need to kind of pull together some stuff from your kitchen and get something whipped up. This is what I'm doing. So at lunchtime on this day, I had pulled these chicken thighs out of the freezer and put them in the sink to thaw out. They were still a little bit, well, they weren't frozen. Some were kind of stuck together still, so you can see there. But I just pulled them out, put them in this bowl. I had half a bottle of that Olive Garden Italian dressing left. So I just poured it in the bowl with them. Probably would have been better if I could have marinated it overnight in these, but that's okay. I just had this left from another recipe I had done recently. So just kind of coating those real good with that dressing. And then I like to use this pan when I'm doing meat. I don't want it to sit in its juice, but I also don't want it to dry out. So I did wrap this in aluminum foil before I put it in the oven. But this just lets that juice kind of just go down into the pan below. I have done it where the chicken's just sitting in a glass pan, baking dish, and I just don't like how it just sits in its juice. So this is what I prefer to do. So I did coat it in that Italian dressing, and then I'm also going to put some seasoning on top. So you'll see me do that. Yep, so I just had this packet of dry Italian seasoning as well. So I'm just sprinkling it on this side, and then I kept half of it out so that when I'm halfway through cooking and I flip it over, I can pour some on the other side. So that's what I did. I poured just half of it on here for now, putting that aluminum foil so that the moisture stays in. But again, it's not sitting in it. It's, staying in the chicken, but not sitting in it. So I do like my chicken to kind of get a little bit brown on the skin. So at the end, I think I did pull the foil off for the last few minutes. But just putting that in the oven, looks like maybe 350. I can't remember. But I set a timer for 30 minutes. These chicken thighs were pretty thick, so I knew it was going to take a while to do this. So I did them for 30 minutes. Then I flipped them over and did them a little while longer. We'll have to see. I can't remember at this point. And then I just had this broccoli in the freezer from, I don't know, I didn't have a plan for it. I just had it in the freezer. So that's what I did. And then also I think I'm doing some rice here. So that was, I think, 4 cups of water, and trying to get that boiling. And then in the meantime, I've got my broccoli ready out of the microwave. I think I put it on 5 or 6 minutes. Yep. So what I do with the broccoli is I just pour it out into a bowl and then put some salt and butter in it. I didn't love the broccoli this time. I want to do some other types of seasoning in with it. So if you guys have things that you put in your steamed broccoli that taste really good, I think some people have said lemon, squeezing some lemon in it would be good. So let me know in the comments if you have a way that you prepare your broccoli that tastes really good. All right, so this is mixed white rice and brown rice, and it's minute rice. So you get the water boiling, give it a stir. I think you're supposed to leave it on there for a few minutes and then take it off the heat and just put a lid on it. And I feel like on this day, I guess I did let it boil a bit. I felt like it didn't get cooked quite as good as it could have, but yeah, I let it I'll let it sit for a while. But then you take it off of the heat, put a lid on, let it sit, and then just stir it a few times. And I did have, you can see, a sink full of dishes. So I'm getting that loaded. And I will say, since this video was taken, I got a new dishwasher. It's new to me. My mom bought a new dishwasher, and she had a stainless steel one that she was getting rid of. She actually let me just have it. So that was awesome. So now my appliances are all stainless. They're not all the same brand. I couldn't care less. But it looks a lot better in the white kitchen, since this dishwasher is kind of like off-whitish. So it doesn't even like look white like the cabinets. But so just getting all this out of the sink while that chicken is still going and the rice is kind of soaking up that water. And we'll get this cleaned out good so that I can work in here. And then I've got a few things I need to hand wash. I guess I had made something in the crock pot the night before. I don't remember. Again, this has been weeks ago. I don't know why I haven't gotten a video out or filmed it all. I don't know. I've just felt kind of overwhelmed. So I'm going to let it go and give myself some grace and just move on. But I got this one filmed. It's been sitting on my phone ready for the voiceover for a while, and I'm just now getting to it. So, but got a few water bottles that need hand washing that I don't put in the dishwasher. So getting those done. That one did not want, the lid did not want to come off. But it finally did. Do you guys ever like pour the soapy water into the next thing instead of making new soapy water, or is that weird? I feel like, I don't know, like I'm wasting soap if I don't use it for more than one item. And then when I'm letting stuff air dry, I don't have one of those little mats, drying mats. I thought about getting one, but I just get out a clean dishcloth and use that to let it sit and dry. And like I said, I've just felt a little overwhelmed. I don't know, like I don't think it's any one thing. I think my daughter's had a lot of volleyball tournaments on the weekends and a lot of practices, and she's also started playing soccer. So there's just a lot to do right now, I think, and it being the beginning, I know it's February, almost March, but like the beginning of the year just feels, I don't know, a little stressful to me this year. Last year, I was able to like really stay on a good diet, and I lost a lot of weight like I've talked about before. And this year, I've just not had that motivation. I'm trying to get back on it now because I'm getting kind of mad at myself for letting that slip. So I want to try to get back on it. I think I'm not going to do quite as low calories. I'm just going to focus more on like what I'm eating. And if it's vegetables and fruits, you can eat a lot more of that than you can eat of like junk and still, be healthy, and it, not focus so much on like how much weight I'm losing, but just how I feel and the types of things I'm eating. So that's kind of my focus right now. But, there's days I do really well. And then there's days where I definitely let it slip and eat things I shouldn't be eating. So just haven't been able to get as motivated this time. But that's okay. Like I said, give yourself grace if you're feeling a similar way. We can't be always on it all the time. It can be pretty, what's the word? Exhausting thinking about those things all the time. But if you kind of plan ahead, it helps with that. I also feel like my house hasn't stayed quite as clean. Again, these tournaments get you away all weekend, and then you're just trying to catch up throughout the week. So that's kind of what I'm dealing with right now. my house is by no means a disaster or anything. It's just I feel like I was keeping it cleaner a few months ago than I'm been able to do now. So no big deal. It gets done. It's just not like picture perfect every day, but it'll be fine. All right, so I think I'm getting finished, getting these things clean. I think that crock pot just had some stuff still stuck on. So I'm going to soak it here for a while in some soapy water and then come back to it. All right, so there you'll see the rice has really soaked up most of that water. And then I did my husband loves just like cream of chicken soup in his rice. So that's what I'm doing on this night. And then I said cream of chicken, cream of mushroom, but then I had cream of chicken too. I had never done this before, like with both of them, but I was like, it has to taste good. I just wanted to give like a creamy rice, with this chicken and broccoli. So I did. I think it was okay. Yeah, I think it was pretty good. For a meal that I did not plan and just put together real quick, I think this came out fine. If you're better at planning than me, then you probably have something good that you're whipping up for your family. But if anyone's like me and you're just like, oh no, what am I cooking tonight? Let me look in the fridge. Let me look in the cabinet. That's kind of how I have been here lately. But I did put just a little bit of cheese on there, and usually like right before my main dish is done, I'll put that broccoli back in the microwave for a couple more minutes, or maybe like a minute and a half, and let it get warm back up, because as it sits there, it's cold. Broccoli tends to, for me, just seem like it gets cold super fast. So I like to warm it back up right then. All right, so this is after the first 30 minutes of cooking, and I'm just going to turn this over and season the other side and then put it back in. I'm checking to see, and it definitely was still pink, and you can see on that other side it's definitely pink. So just turning this over. I try to like pull the thighs apart, but we have been buying chicken thighs more than breasts lately. They're just more tender, they're more juicy, and everybody seems to like them a little better. So I've been doing that. They don't look pretty. They look kind of like a mess. If you guys have a way that you do them that looks better than this, let me know. But again, putting the rest of that packet of seasoning on here, and then I'm going to wrap this back up with the same foil, put it back in the oven. I think I do 20 more minutes. So it does kind of take a while with chicken baking in the oven if it's thick like this. So we'll see if I can see how long I did it. But I think I do 20 minutes. And you see how I turned the pan around? I want to put the ones that were in the front before in the back and vice versa. Because I just want them to get evenly cooked. So I don't know what I did, but I think I did 20 minutes. And then at the end, I pulled the foil off. So I think you'll see me doing that here. And then I turn it back on like the side that's, I would call it face up, prettier side up. And then I put it back in the oven and let it kind of brown up a little bit. But you can see it looks a lot browner already from cooking a little longer. But flipping that back over, checking the middle just to see. You want to make sure your chicken's cooked well, but it's a hard balance for me sometimes because you don't want to dry it out. But you can tell it looks pretty juicy, and it was, even after cooking for that long. Keeping that foil on it really helps. But I do like to brown up the outside just a little bit. It just makes it look nicer, and then I just think it tastes better as well. And so finishing off that, there was a lot of seasoning in there. So it didn't feel like I was being sparse with it or anything when I was putting it on before. And there my daughter, she had printed out a Ryan Reynolds picture she was like making something for one of her friends. And so she just decided she was going to stick that. Here it goes again. Ryan Reynolds on GQ. So here I am putting it back in, I think 5. I might have done some weird number like 7. I don't know. But a few more minutes to get that looking brown. And then I'll show you how it looks at the end. But I am going to put that broccoli while this is cooking right towards the end. I noticed my camera was all fogged up. So putting that in, looks like a minute 30 seconds, just to get that cheese melted. And then here's our chicken. I was done with it at this point. So I'm going to plate that up and you'll see how it looks. It didn't get super brown, but it turned out pretty good. So rice, broccoli, and chicken. Thanks, guys.